Alright, you guys, so I didn't end up filming an intro for this video, just because it was one, out of pure laziness, and two, I didn't really feel like it needed an intro. I mean, the title's self-explanatory, and what I'm doing is pretty self-explanatory. So basically, what I am starting off doing is I'm saying tried because it didn't work, but I tried to pluck, the front, just because it did look a little too full and not natural at all. So what I was trying to do here was I was trying to spray a little bit of water just to see if that would help me with the plucking process, but I basically parted off 2 parts on either side and then put the rest back in a braid. And this hair was pretty hard to work with because it was very tangled and it was super easy to get knotty. I didn't include the information on this wig in this video, but I'll put everything in the description bar. It was a wig I got at Beauty Supply for like $50, and it's a synthetic blend, so it's not completely synthetic. If I wanted to use heat on it, I could, and I did do that because at one point while I was wearing it after this installation, I did take it off and straighten it because I didn't like how it started to look. So you are able to use heat on it, and that's how I know it is a synthetic blend. But anyways, that's basically what I am doing right now. I'm trying to just pluck and make it look as natural as possible, see if I can get any hairs out. So now actually going on to application of the wig, I just slapped on the wig cap I was wearing. It was a tan wig cap, and I just added a little bit of powder that matches my skin tone onto it, just so that when I put on the lace wig at the part, you can't really tell, like, it'll look skin-like. But wig caps I normally don't cut because I don't find the need to, because I don't end up wearing the wigs for that long anyways. So I'll just slap the wig cap on over the 2 braids that I do. I don't cornrow my hair. I'll just do 2 little braids down the sides of my head, and then I will just pin it up at the back. And I haven't had a problem with that. Ever since I started doing wigs, I haven't had a problem with it, and it's been working for me perfectly fine. I was lazy and didn't feel like going to go get my blow dryer, so after I sprayed the freeze blast, I just used the little piece of paper that came with my wig and dried it a little bit. So now on the inside of the wig cap, it did have clips and the band at the bottom, but I wanted to add concealer on the inside powder onto the inside where the part is there as well, so it continues to look even more skin-like and more natural. So afterwards, I just put the wig on, and I was playing around with it just to see where it fell and if I liked it that way, and just ensuring that it was sized to my head properly and that my wig cap underneath was laying properly. As you saw, I did adjust it a little bit just because I felt like it was too low, so I was just playing around with it just to make sure it fit properly, and I was just checking to see if I had to cut anything or if anything needed to be changed.
30 hertz straight up.
So then I took some Got2b gel, like the actual gel, the ultra cold gel, and I used that and I put it just where my wig cap and my forehead met, and I laid some of it there and I started to let it dry, just so I had like a nice little thin layer there to start the process of me putting my wig on. And this time I did use a different method than what I normally use. Normally I'll cut the lace first, and I do mention that in the video in a clip, but this time I wanted to try it different and see how that method worked for me. And then I just went over top of it with the freeze blast just to give it an extra hold, and still continued to fan myself with that little cardboard because I did not want to go get my blow dryer. After I felt like it was tacky enough and dried to my liking, I then pulled the wig onto my head properly where I wanted it to sit, and I used my rat tail comb to help me stick down the lace to where I applied the gel. This was not a transparent lace, but when I tell you it was melted, like it was undetectable. I couldn't see it. And then I just wrapped my head and left it wrapped for about 10 minutes without the lace cut, just so it could sit properly and actually like harden and mold to my liking. And keep it tied down for like 10 minutes. I'm putting it on a different way than I normally do. Normally I would cut the lace first.
Woohoo! Blonde hair.
I don't know why he wanted me to try blonde so bad. Anyways, so basically, I don't know if you can even hear me, but if you can't, I'm just gonna mute this.
I pulled off my jacket and I cut a lace on it. I don't know if you can hear it.
You saw someone?
Normally I cut the lace first and then glue it down, but today I'm trying to glue it down with the lace still on, so then I'll cut it that way. See how it works. This feels secure. I secured the bag, broski. So starting the actual process of me cutting the lace and laying the hairs, when I took off the wrap, I did notice that the sides were still sticking up a little bit, so I went back and I put some more freeze blast, and then I actually decided to go get my blow dryer this time. So I used the freeze blast and then I used the blow dryer to help me secure it back again really quickly. And then I started to take my scissors and I finally started to cut the lace. I just cut it down the center first just so that I can get a visual of like an easier spot to use my actual razor. And then I went in with the razor and started to do little jagged cuts just so that it looked a little bit more natural. But then when I finished doing that, I didn't like how it looks, so I just took the scissors again and I went in more so that it's like the lace was like non-existent on the wig at all.
30 hertz straight up.
moving on to baby hairs, I started with the 2 at the top of my head. I did 6 in total, so 2 because it's the middle part. I did 1 on one side, 1 on the other, 1 at the bottom, or like just under that one, and then 1 also like on my sideburns, which would be 3 on each side, making it 6 like I said. I just used the got2b gel to help me hold it. Normally I would use mousse, but I haven't figured out how to use the mousse properly yet when laying baby hairs with wigs, because I find that the mousse likes to soften up the product and ruin the work I did with laying the wig down essentially. So I just used the got2b gel for now, and then later on, I think after this video, I went in and I did it with the mousse a little bit. But you don't see me actually cutting the baby hairs because for this day, just because I wanted everything to set and like be perfect, I left it long, and then later on I went in and cut it because it wasn't bugging me. So I just left it long, and then I went in later on and cut it. The only part that I actually did cut in this video that you see is the sideburns. Alright guys, so my camera actually died, so I'm just gonna, I finished my edges. I don't know when it stopped recording on this side, but it stopped recording, but I did this side. I haven't cut it yet because I'm gonna let my hair sit in my my head tie just to press the edges down, and then I'll trim them, or maybe I won't, I don't know. I kind of like how it looks, but I'm going to, like I said, just sit with my wrap on, and then I will come back in a little bit and show you guys.